A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, of course, joined by the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. What's up, Mace?
Sorry, I was in the middle of a conversation when we got this thing started, and it is high noon. Yeah, I didn't get that yesterday because I came on at 1 o'clock.
I won.
Was rolling with Charlie. You were over there playing at Potawatomi doing, God knows what.
I was working.
You weren't. I saw your video. You and Tim Allen.
I did 4 hours on air yesterday.
Gosh, it's like just your boy Jake Bowers. I mean, it was how perfect was that? I sent you a text and I said, if he doesn't go yard here in this game, like I'm done with him. He's on my list of like I'm not believing you. And then he cranks one. I mean, how great was that?
That was one of the top moments of my professional life. Like, for sure.
You've been talking him up for a while.
Well, I mean, it is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And we were over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook all day for opening day, which was awesome the entire time, watching the Brewers just manhandle the Chicago White Sox during that stretch. But I had placed a wager, and we're going to talk about this a little more at 1 o'clock because it sparked an idea of your sports bucket list. So if you want to come in, contribute at any time, 414-677-1250. That is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. And we're going to do this at 1 o'clock. I want you to text in or call in with your sports bucket list. But that was the first ever sports wager I've ever won in my life. I don't think it's the first ever one it's definitely not the first one I placed at Potawatomi. I placed one the first week, I want to say, they ever had the sports book open, and it was just the kiosks actually at the time.
Okay.
And that was when UConn won their first national championship. I had placed a bet on the 3 other teams in the Final Four. I put $20 on each of them to try to win the national championship, and I lost because UConn won. But I had hedged that as long as UConn doesn't win the national championship, I was going to win money. And UConn won the national championship, so I lost. I don't know if I had any wager in between there, but I had a great little parlay going. And yesterday, Jake Bowers was the last leg, and I actually caught it on video. I hadn't been recording his ABs up until that point. I have it cut down so it's not the full 2-minute clip that you can go watch over at WI Sports Radio or at Tommy WSSP. But when Jake did this, come on, Jake. Here it is. Oh! He did it! Come on! He did it! Oh, man. We had it on. Tim also had Jake Bowers to homer.
Did you say plus 1050? Is that what?
Plus 1050 on the parlay yesterday for
well done.
David Hamilton hit, Sal Frelick hit, and a Jake Bowers homer. That was the parlay I put out there. And Jake was 1 for 4 on the day up until that point. That's why I was talking. I was like, man, you're so high on Bowers. You can't even hit the ball, well,
let alone a home run.
If Jake Bowers hits 250 this year, people are going to be pretty happy with what Jake Bowers puts out there. But if he hits 400, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
400.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So what are we overreacting to with this opening day game? I mean, I have a million overreactions because that's how I am as a baseball fan, especially when it comes to the Brewers. So I'll start first that Jacob Mizrowski is better than Skeens. So
all right.
I mean, he is the new ace. He is everything that this Brewers team has been looking for the last couple seasons. I mean, from that start, we had people on yesterday calling. They're just like, I hope, there's no way he's getting 5 innings. There's no way he's going to get this thing, get more than 3 innings here. Just his pitch count was up a little high. And then the guy just started dealing. I mean, gives up an opening batter home run and then just struck out the next 3. 11 of 15 batters?
Yes, 11 of the 15 outs. 11 of the 15 outs.
Sorry,
yes.
11 of the 15 outs are strikeouts.
Yeah.
And he only had 2 hits against him.
Yeah.
Like, it was insanity.
It was a big strikeout day for everyone for the Brewers.
Just got a free strike with a pitch timer violation on Carroll. And he struck him out. 10 Ks on opening day for Miz.
Unbelievable. I'm going to stand up for that.
You should.
That was Mark Antanasio on the call there. Highlights courtesy of Fox 6 here in Milwaukee. But Jacob Mizorowski, it couldn't have gotten any better on opening day, Mace. It started off as bad as it could start off with the leadoff
It's never
homer.
been better, right? 11 strikeouts in an opening day start is a record for the Brewers.
It is a record, yes.
He's just breaking records day one, which I love. And his attitude, we had clips from him with McAfee. He's just like, I go across that white line and I black out until I come back into the dugout. And I just look, you know what? He calls our boy, professional batter, Bill Contreras. He's like, I just look at Bill. He gets me where I need to be, and I'd throw gas.
Yeah.
And it's so great.
Well, and we were talking about this with all this speculation of what was going to happen opening day for a while, right? We were talking about Brandon Woodruff. Is he going to be healthy? If it's not Brandon Woodruff, it can't be Quinn Priester because he was going to start on the injured list to start the season. The next domino was Jacob Mizorowski has to start this off. It had to be based on, the people that were already in this starting rotation, the experience, just the overall ceiling you could have for someone on opening day. And what was the one common theme we kept bringing up? You got to start him because he gets up for the moment, right? He is a guy that needs the moment, and you see his best stuff when the most pressure is under him. Well, it started off very poor, right? The first batter of the game. But that's adversity too, Mason.
But he's done that. I said it to Charlie right away. I was like, oh, gosh, he just gave up a home run. And I was like, he's going to strike out the next 3 guys. And sure enough, he does because he did that last year, right? He had some moments where he'd kind of get off to a little rocky start, and then he would just start dealing. And what do you think? I didn't get to watch every moment of the game. But what did you think about his command and the pitches that he was throwing? I mean, it looked like he had some, it wasn't just that 4-seam fastball all day long. I mean, he's throwing his slider is nasty. It looked like his curveball had some movement.
The changeup, that changeup he brought, that 88 that was just going,
and it just kept dipping
any different way. It almost looked like a splitter with all the break it had on it. But I was impressed with Jacob Mizorowski yesterday. Now, he did have the 3 walks, which isn't a crazy number for the Miz, and we don't really expect a whole lot. We do expect rather the command to be something when the goal is throw it as hard as you can every single time he is on the mound, right? His arm is special. First pitch of the entire season, 101. I mean, that was what we knew was going to come from Jacob Mizorowski at some point. So I know the command issues tend to get away from him, but hey, he eliminated a lot of hard contact, and that was and he was missing a lot, quite frankly. I mean, he had a 58% whiff percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, over half the time anyone swung, they could not hit him yesterday. Yeah. That's what that means. And the Miz, he needed the moment. Give him that, and it's now an all-time moment from Brewers opening day. It's the most strikeouts we've ever seen, and they struck out 20 batters as a whole. The rest of the bullpen pretty damn good too, Mason.
Yeah, and then some other things I'm looking at is I did my initial knee-jerk reaction right away with Charlie. After that first, I'm like, well, I guess we're just going to rely on pitching, and the bats are cold. It's like these bats aren't going to be other than Bryce Terang.
Hey, Bryce.
We know Terang's going to hit. Everyone else, I was like, gosh, this is going to be are we just not going to hit the ball this year? And then sure enough, they start clicking away here down at the bottom of the lineup, which that's what I want to talk about a little bit right now is that the bottom of that batting order could be special. I mean, they showed some stuff yesterday. I'm excited about Hamilton, his speed, his ability to just get the bat on the ball and get on base. Frelick looked good swinging the bats. Contreras is always going to battle at the plates, even if he doesn't always have.
What'd you think of the new hair from Contreras?
Yeah, that's hey, I love it, man.
Right?
The guy's feeling it.
Little flare,
little flare.
Hey.
I mean, his hand's feeling good. He's like, I'm not just working this year. I'm going to show out a little bit.
Well, and if he's going to continue to have moments like this with the bases loaded, keep the hair, Bill.
And Contreras a foul ball. He could score all three. 2 are in. Ortiz being sent around third. Contreras clears the bases, and the Brewers lead it.
Wow, that is Bill, just a professional.
Bill,
he is
Bill.
just a pro.
He might be your guy more than anyone else is here on this. I'll give you claim on him because Bill, professional hitter, and
I do love Bill.
You talked about it with the offense in that bottom part of the order, right? Sal Frelick came up 1 for 3. Jake Bauers was, in the 5 spot, more middle, but Hamilton, I also thought was very impressive yesterday in his first outing, not only getting on base in virtually any way possible, which is so Brewers baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, catcher's interference, a hit that goes off there. He stole third base.
Exactly.
He played a pretty damn good third base as well. That was really his first action. He's played a little bit there, but he's listed as a middle infielder, and now they're asking him to play third base. He made a nice barehanded snag where he ended up throwing a guy out. And on top of it, when they pinch hit for Joey Ortiz later on, he slid over to shortstop and made a couple of nice plays over there too. I am excited to see what David Hamilton can do just because of the brand. I don't think he's going to be the best player on the team by any means, but the brand of baseball that he plays,
how they play.
It is exactly what we saw last year out of the team, Crosby.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he fits right into the mold of what this Brewers team's trying to do. But I'm excited about this day one game, and we had a couple home runs, right? Like, who knows? Maybe this team has a few more home runs and under their belt throughout this season. I mean, I love that Frelick got one. We count on Bauers. Y'all are saying he's more than likely going to get 20 this year. Who knows? Yelich is going to probably get his numbers, as he kind of warms up into the season. So Vaughn, we know, can go yard. So who knows? This team could end up having some hot bats. I mean, I love seeing them score the runs in the fashion that they did in this opening game. What a difference from last year, whenever they just got steamrolled by the Yankees. Couldn't do anything.
You know what this means, Crosby? Like, you take all the unders on Saturday. All the unders on Saturday. That would be so on par for a Brewers result to have, such an amazing day one, and then you hit these lows, but hopefully not.
They'll score like 3 runs on Saturday.
I had brought it up with 9 to Noon earlier because I jumped on a couple of times during their show. They were trying to slander me at some points, and you know what it is. You know how it is with those guys. But they had said that the Churio injury really led to, that's why Jake Bauers got to play. And I don't quite think that that's the case. I mean, maybe there is a scenario, 50% chance maybe he doesn't play if Churio is healthy, right? Because they're going to have Churio in left field and Mitchell in center field.
Yeah.
But when that lineup has Churio in center field and Bauers in left field, there's a little bit more pop in that in there, and that's what everyone was clamoring for, is like, go get a bat.
Exactly.
When you slide him in, there is a little more raw power in the lineup, I think.
When you can slide him right in that like 5 or 6 spot, right?
Yes.
Like, he just slots right into a good place where he can be really effective. If all of a sudden too, you're getting guys on base, you're finding ways to have runners in scoring position. I mean, he's just going to be a guy that's going to help this team throughout the course of the season. I want to talk about that. We talked about a little bit. I'm sure y'all hit on it a bunch, like the Jackson Churio. What is it? 10-day IL. So it's not hopefully.
Well, so the estimation is 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay. So they're looking at it a little longer, but man, think about that. That's what happened last year, right? So we got Quinn Priester, like is injured, not starting this.
Yep.
You got, Churio now that's injured and going to be back in 2 to 4 weeks. So this could be just very similar to last year, where all of a sudden, if this team can kind of keep it together and find a rhythm, then all of a sudden you're adding in those pieces that are already on your roster. Like, those are huge bumps and benefits to a team if you can find ways to win like you did yesterday and kind of try to keep that momentum going in this early part of the season, and to be able to add those pieces as they get healthy. I think, you don't want it to happen, but I think that's almost a benefit. As a Brewers fan, I'm actually, okay, if Jackson Chourio is going to be hurt, I'd rather him be hurt right now than kind of what happened last year, right? He got hurt in August, and he kind of, he popped his hammy, did some of that stuff. That was detrimental, I think, to this team in the long run because they were rolling, they had all this momentum, and then a key player was not available for an extended period of time.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, along with the Packers' all-time leading scorer. Overreactions, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Text in your Brewers overreactions, any reactions, I guess, to the home opener, 14-2 victory over the Chicago White Sox. And if I'm going to point to another point to where I would be in the overreaction category, I know everyone was holding their breath when it was 1-0 and the Brewers are trying to get their first run of the game and the bases are loaded.
Will pop up, shallow right, and it's down. The Brewers have tied the game. Joey Ortiz drives in the first run of the season for the Brewers.
A little flare jam shot into shallow right field. The White Sox had the infield halfway, just out of the reach of Megraw.
Just out of the reach of the second baseman for the White Sox. Joey Ortiz coming up in that moment. He had 31 plate appearances with the bases loaded last year. Doesn't even seem possible. He went 5 for 30 in that stretch. And he finally came up big on his first opportunity with the bases loaded.
That's the most Brewers type of hit that you're ever going to see as well. It's like you get this little blooper over second base and find a way to score some runs. But I love this comment on Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. The 414 came at us, but probably mostly Tommy because Tommy's the big Jake Bauers fan. Quit smoking the hopium, which I thought was funny. Bauers is just another guy. I know you like him, but he's a reserve, not a starter.
I don't think that
but
we've
that's not
seen
like
him as we haven't seen him in any other role either. He has not been given
even
any,
as a reserve, even as a guy that comes in and play and he still is going to get you some huge at bats. Who cares? He can be a guy, but he's going to be he's showing that he's a guy that's going to step up and hit a home run in a lot of games, and give you a chance there.
Well, and I'm just saying that I know that people are very excited to see what Garrett Mitchell might be able to do with a fully healthy season, right? I mean, Garrett Mitchell this is now the 5th year Garrett Mitchell has played at the big league level. He obviously came up at the back end of 2022. He only played 28 games during that stretch in September. Yeah. That's the second most games he's ever played in a season, actually, during this stretch. If you didn't know that already, he played 69 games in 2024. He's never hit above 260 outside of that very first year. His OPS has been it was 580 last year. He had 812, 761. Jake Bauers can be a 760 OPS guy if you give him everyday playing time. Sure. I fully believe that. He's got a career OPS over 1,000 in the postseason. He's come up in big moments before. He's a very valuable pinch hit piece as well if you don't have him in the starting lineup. I don't think it's that crazy to say what Jake Bauers does for the Brewers is valuable, and he could have a larger role in the team, especially if you are looking for more raw power in the Brewers lineup.
Well, we're going to see him for 2 to 4 weeks, regardless, right? With Chourio out, he's going to be playing quite a bit here in the first part of the season. And if he's hot through that time, how do you sit somebody down? If his bat is ripping like it can, or all the stats show that he has, you can't sit somebody down like that.
Well, he had way too good of a spring on top of it to not give him some sort of shot. Now, I will say this. It could be giving Vinny Capra vibes. It could.
You've said that already.
I know.
You said
he's
it
my
during
guy.
Spring ball. Yeah,
he's my guy. I love Jake. He's great, and whatever he does for the Brewers, I will defend him. But Vinny Capra did have an insane spring, and then on opening day homer. That's exactly what he did last year, and he proceeded to go 0 for his next 50 or whatever it was.
Well, hey, it's the next it's the next game, the next at bat that kind of proves if you can sustain and keep this thing going. So we will not know until he gets another opportunity.
We will see. We will see. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I know it is Brewers season, but I wanted to talk a little bit of Packers because we did get some news over the last couple of days that we already knew, in a way, that Micah Parsons is going to miss about 3 to 4 games to start the year with his torn ACL. Yeah. And I wanted to know from you guys on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, what do the Packers have to do in those first 4 games to make you feel comfortable? They can't go 0-4, right? Lay that out.
That would be bad. I think the odds of making the playoffs are pretty low if you go 0-4.
Can they only win 1 game? Do they have to win 2 of these? Do you expect them to win 3?
Let's dive into it because we'll dive into that. I like this conversation.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, Packers all-time leading scorer. How was Chuck yesterday?
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I mean, we talked. I made sure he wasn't a White Sox fan, before we even got started.
Yeah, but,
so, I had to check some boxes.
Wouldn't you have rather have been a White Sox fan almost? Maybe just not yesterday. Is that all the requirement was?
Well, he said anytime he grew up watching the Brewers and the Bucks.
I know.
So as long as they're not playing the Bulls and the and the Packers aren't playing the Bears and all that.
I know he's such a flake on that. I love Charlie. He's one of my guys here. But his fandom irritates me to no degree. Like just being able to be last year.
You can't be all things, right?
I think last year at a point in July, he had declared he was a Brewers fan for the rest of the year as opposed to being a Cubs fan.
Wow.
And then at the end of the year, he's like, I'm going all Cubs in this Brewers Cubs series. Like you just declared. You can't be continuing to go back and forth the way that you are. But I love him still. He's my guy. So I'm glad it worked out.
We had some good conversations. Like he loves storylines. So I think he just wanted he just wants to see, good kind of like the build up and the story and all of those things to happen. That's kind of what I got from our conversation. And then we talked about underdogs and like what all that looks like. And so I dove into that. And I told him that my brother always made fun of me because we always joke about corporate stuff. Like he would, like my brother would definitely call me corporate Crosby.
Yeah.
Cause he's like, you were, he always called me Banks from Mighty Ducks. It was like, I was the guy that like go out there and like, just do all the stuff. And he's like Charlie Conway, my brother.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I just do it because I love the game. I don't want it to be, I'm like, I'm going out there to win and I'm doing it like a certain way. Like if you want to be on board, if not, I'm going to trash.
You can catch more Charlie using on Wisconsin Sports Daily immediately coming up right after this show ends at 2:00. But we're going to talk some Brewers throughout this show for sure. I wanted to make sure we squeeze in some Packers conversation because we are in a lull. It feels like with Packer season and draft talk doesn't hit quite the same when you don't have a first round pick like the Green Bay Packers. Not that I think they would trade that for any means. Would they trade it still knowing they're going to miss 4 games of Micah Parsons? Yeah, I still think they would.
I think so.
For the next year. But it raised the question because per Matt Schneidman, Micah Parsons expected to miss the first 3 to 4 games starting the 2026 season. Now, again, he tore his ACL, and I don't think anyone's surprised by that number, but it brought up a point that I think we should talk about at some point, Mason, as what do the Packers need to do in those first 4 games? Now, I think I've been on record on this show even saying that I don't want to even evaluate the Packers unless Micah Parsons is on the field. Maybe that's an unfair claim, but as we said before we went to the break, they sure as hell can't be 0-4 because they didn't win a game without Micah Parsons last year.
You said it exactly. That's what I was going to say is, no, that's how we need to evaluate this Packers team is like without Micah Parsons, because the evaluation of this Packers team at the end of last season without Micah Parsons was not good, right?
Correct.
So without him for the first 4 games, let's say, I mean, I guess even if they go 2-2, depending on who they play, right? Like, I think we can look at that and say, okay, at least, they got some wins. They showed some promise. If those 2 losses are against good teams that, just were a little, a step ahead and just like you needed a Micah Parsons to kind of close that gap. Okay. We can look at that. But honestly, if you're not over 500, if you're not 500 or better, then I'm concerned. Then I'm like, okay, Micah Parsons coming back off of torn ACL. Unfortunately, we look at even a Rashawn Gary. Let's just look at that. He hit 9.5 sacks, tore his ACL, and then was never the same after.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like we kind of, whenever they paid Rashawn, he had just had his best season. He was like, we're like, all right, he's ascending, tears his ACL after. And I believe he started that season really well where he tore his ACL. And then he was never the same. So I don't think Micah Parsons is the same as that. I think he's going to be okay. But you have to evaluate this team without Micah Parsons, and then Micah Parsons is just going to make it better. But if they go 1-3, I'm going to be a little concerned about this team.
Well, and Scotty Tiffany writes in the same thing. Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the show. It all depends on what teams they face for those games. Must wins would be against division rivals, maybe a little more leeway. Otherwise, I would be shocked if they don't have a divisional game in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Going to.
Yeah. Usually there is. Last year, they opened up against the Lions, and then they didn't have one till Thanksgiving, right?
That was
the break. But there will be one divisional game, you would think, within those first 4. Is that divisional game is there going to be a real close eye on that one? Or again, is it hard to evaluate this Packers team without their best player on the field?
No, I'm still like, I will stand by that. I mean, we had seasons when I was there where, we had guys that didn't start the season, different things. And, sometimes, you would, we finished strong when you'd go 1-3 or, you'd go 2-2, or it just wasn't like the prettiest of starts. But I do believe this team, because of their end result last year, has something to prove that the core of this team, this team collectively, should be able to win games without Micah Parsons. And then Micah Parsons should just make them a championship contender. Like that's the difference maker. It's like this team is a playoff team, should be a playoff team without Micah Parsons. They are chasing championships with Micah Parsons on the field, with Tucker Kraft on the field, with the guys that are their playmakers. Because ultimately, yes, in the NFL, if you don't have playmakers, it's hard to go win championships. You have to have those guys. Do you need 10 of them? No, not even. You don't even need 10. You need 3 or 4 guys that are going to go out. And they are going to be the core playmakers. And then the rest, not everybody, but majority of your team are support, and they are doing their jobs at a high level to elevate that squad as well and elevate those playmakers. So yes, if you lose 3, if you even lose 2 of those first 4 games, I think we're going to have questions. We're going to be talking about on the show saying, hey, I'm not sure if this team has that chemistry or that that foundation to be a championship team. And then Micah Parsons, unfortunately, in my mind, would only bring them to competitive and not championship caliber.
So, I want to go through the opponents, and we'll make a decision on, what might be an acceptable loss versus not acceptable loss.
We're going to do like a little role play here.
But I also want to say, I want to bring up a comment about coaching when Micah Parsons wouldn't be on the field. Would it be the most fair evaluation of new defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon when Micah Parsons is not on the field for the first month? And with Matt LaFleur again, is it going to be a more fair evaluation of him with those first 4 games if Micah Parsons is not on the field, in your mind, Crosby?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I think that's when coaching is going to matter the most, right? So we're going to see truly what Jonathan Gannon can do as a defensive coordinator when you don't have your stud outside guy rushing the passer. How can you get these guys in position to be disruptive? Are we bringing more DBs? Are we bringing linebackers? Are we moving that defensive front around so that you're giving different looks? I said this last year. Hafley, I thought, was a better defensive coach without Micah Parsons than with Micah Parsons.
You can't. They went 0-5 without him. You can't say that.
No, in the previous year.
Oh, yes.
I'm talking about the previous year.
Yes.
I thought Hafley coached he coached better for that defense than he did whenever Micah Parsons was on the team.
Sure.
And then by the end of the season, it was like, you can't change everything up, or you can't do those schemes that you maybe did the year before because you've already established something, right? So I think losing having Micah Parsons then losing him, it kind of showed what they were doing with Micah Parsons on the field, right? So I think Jonathan Gannon's going to be able to really show his class and what kind of coach he is in that situation. And then, this is huge for LaFleur. You don't have Micah Parsons. You don't is Tucker Kraft he's expected to be back.
It's probably going to be right around that time. I would be shocked if he wasn't ready for the first day. Didn't his ACL happen in October? Right.
Yeah. So he should be close. But I think the coaches on both sides of the ball, they have a lot of, let's not say pressure. There's always a pressure. They just have a lot more weight on their shoulders here to make sure they get their teams ready and have a plan like a minus Micah Parsons, maybe Tucker Kraft, like a plan A, and then post when Micah Parsons comes back and what that looks like, right? So it's like we need to have a plan and be prepared for both those situations.
What if Tucker Kraft was out the same timeline? Then do you give a little more leeway? What if Tucker Kraft missed the first 4 games of the year?
I'm telling you, like, again, I don't give leeway. I think this team has the pieces. Like they should win games, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like if you haven't, like, not having 2 guys, even if they are your stud playmakers, you should be able to build, like, put something together. You got a quarterback that you have faith in. You got a great running back. You're building up that offensive line. Your secondary is great. You brought in, you got your linebackers. You got defensive front. Like, you're building this thing to protect against losing those playmakers, right? So I think if they don't go 2-2 or better, I'm gonna be a little surprised, unless the schedule just falls awful and they run into just like loaded stacked teams that are ready to roll with all their guys.
So let's go through it. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network in our studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz, Packers all-time leading scorer, here with you. So we have the opponents. We don't know the order of what's going to happen for the Green Bay Packers in those first 4 games, but obviously there's the division, right? Yeah. So you have the Bears, the Vikings, the Lions. Any of those being early on in the year, is that look at an acceptable loss if you're missing a guy like a Parsons in that time frame?
Gosh. Well, that's tough because division, like, no loss against a division opponent's ever acceptable.
Okay, all right,
in my mind.
But not acceptable in your mind.
I just it's like that's when I was playing. That's like, as I look at it, I'm just like, sure, they happen and it's going to happen, but like you never accept it as like, oh, it's okay, they were just better than us. You expect to dominate that division and you prepare to dominate that division. So any loss in that division is an unacceptable performance from an organizational side of things. Okay. That's how I view it. That's how I viewed it the whole time I played. And that's how I look at it moving forward. Mind you, if you play the Vikings and you lose that game, I think that would be an unacceptable first 4-game loss. Lions and Bears, I think those are going to, those would be a little bit tougher, and you could probably swallow that a little bit easier than a loss to the Vikings.
Not buying Kyler Murray, I guess, here, Mason Crosby.
Oh, gosh. Have you seen all the memes, the Kyler Murray memes?
He's actually on the screen, just minimized right down here, over here, if you see him.
Is that him there?
That's him right down there. Okay, well, the other opponents, it's the NFC South. So you're looking at Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons,
I think they're going to be better.
New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you think on paper, in your mind, the Packers are better than all those teams without Micah Parsons?
Honestly, I think Carolina is going to be decent this year. I think they're building something up.
The Rasheed Walker bump, some people are saying.
The Walker bump. Yeah, exactly. No, I think you should beat the Falcons. Probably Saints. Like, if you run into Tampa in that first 4 games.
No more Mike Evans.
No more Mike Evans, I guess, but you know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. Like, you never know what's going to happen.
He's our guy. We're okay with that.
Yeah. So I think if it's Carolina, Falcons, and Saints, and you lose to those, then you got a little worry. Like, even without Micah Parsons,
the Buffalo Bills are a part of it. Their AFC East is the other one. So we got the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, not the Dolphins. Sorry. It's just Bills. Yeah, no, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Those are the next 4. If they lose to the Super Bowl runner-ups in that time, are you at least like, okay, we didn't have Micah Parsons out there as a member of the Packers?
I think Buffalo or the Patriots, you're kind of like, okay, if you lose to them, but also if you beat them without Micah Parsons, right? Like, so why, like, I get this little thing we're doing, but I'm also like, you go and beat it. Like, you start telling the rest of the NFL, wait till we have Micah Parsons, right? Like, so that's the mindset that I want this. Like, I hope that this team is going into it. Like, yes, we love Micah. We want him on the field as soon as possible and as much as possible. We want Tucker Kraft, but as a team, and NFL and like football is the ultimate team sport. Those guys, they fit in when they come back. Like, they are part of the team, but if they're not on the field, you have to believe that you can go out there and win games even whenever they're not standing right next to you, right? So yes, Buffalo and Patriots, you lost those games. Okay, you take it with a grain of salt and say, like, I think, however you lose them, if you're like, hey, if we had Micah Parsons, he might have been able to disrupt Josh Allen and Drake May a little bit more than what we had out there. But if you beat them, that's huge. If you lose to Miami or to the Jets, then let's just kind of call this season a loss.
If they lose to the Jets, I'm never.
Let's just write this season off.
That's it. I'm over it. Aaron Glenn gets fired after the Packer game. Whenever it is in the season, that's what should be happening. All right, those pants get a look. Oh, you mentioned those pants in Lambeau.
My gosh, early sezen too. Those things would be deep.
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be early season. I thought those things are up by his knees.
Oh, he's gonna wear shorts. He'll be the first coach wearing shorts. Did Big Mike ever advocate for wearing shorts on the sidelines? No. Seems like he could.
I feel like whenever we played, I think we played Jacksonville one time early in the season. You go down to Miami, it's like, I'm not sure why they can't wear shorts. Just throw them on, man.
Oh man, that would be a sight to see. It's like it's Chiefs Packers in Jacksonville, just because of and it's Andy Reid and Mike McCarthy down there wearing shorts.
Just shorts and I don't know. I mean, I guess you can wear cutoffs now. So
first game that has a hot dog stand on the sidelines for each one of those. Awesome. All right. Well, okay, fine. The no losses are acceptable for Crosby. He was never going to get there. That's where we got to.
And what's your acceptability? Because you asked this question, but I don't know if you ever answered what you in 4 games, what you would as a longtime fan, growing up watching this.
They got to be 2-2. They got to be 2-2 without.
So we're in they have to at least be over that.
In my mind, Jonathan Gannon, you have to win a game without Micah Parsons. You have to win a game. If Jeff Hafley could not win a game without Micah Parsons, then he was this most desirable coach possible on the market every year last year. I'm still saying that you got to win a game without Micah Parsons. Just prove that you can win a game without Micah Parsons on the field. But I know that I also will be taking the first 4 games with a grain of salt if things go poorly, because they don't have Micah Parsons, and I think he's that impactful on a football field after watching him for the 12 games I saw last year as a member of the Green Bay Packers.
But listen, if they go, say hypothetically, they go 0-4, kind of just some scrubby bad losses. Are you optimistic that Micah Parsons coming back is going to save that season?
I think a healthy Micah Parsons team with this Green Bay Packers team is a 9-win team no matter what. Micah Parsons is worth 9 wins. Yes.
So you think they can go to 9-8 if he so you think they go 0-4, they're only losing 4 more games the rest of the season.
If Jordan Love and Micah Parsons are healthy, 9 wins is guaranteed. Like you have, and then the rest of it I feel like is a coaching disparity or a decision making or a play, coming up with the big plays in those moments. I think the Packers win 9 games no matter what, as long as Jordan Love and Micah Parsons are healthy.
They should.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's my thought, at least. All right, we got a few minutes to wrap up on the other side. I have rules that I've always wanted to pitch to you guys that we just keep pushing off. There's actually some new rules coming to the NFL that maybe are being proposed right now. The tush push will be here, but all special team stuff, then, hey, sure enough, we have a kicker on the show every day.
It's always special teams. They're like, oh, let's just change this around because who cares about
one of my favorite lines that you've given was they're not going to shrink the goalposts. They're just going to put one goalpost and they're going to make kickers kick
have
it.
To hit it.
Just kick that. Exactly. If you don't hit it, it's not going to be worth any points.
Exactly.
But the UFL has a couple. I wonder if any would be good for the NFL. And Schefter, a couple of days ago, had spoken about some of the special teams changes that you could see in 2026 in the NFL season. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz here with you. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back, the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Packers all-time leading scorer, along for the ride as well. Are you guys 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part?
I was about to say,
show.
I'm just along for the ride. All right, Tommy, you take over, bub.
Dude. All right, we're all over the place, man. How many spam texts do you get a day?
I don't get many.
I got
you get a lot.
3 in that break. One of them was actually like a sign up text. But I got an election text, which I guess there's an election on the 7th of April. We're not talking politics anymore.
Okay.
I'm reaching out to share that we're currently acquiring homes in your neighborhood.
Nice. Sell your house.
And then Thomas, buy 1 hour of laser tag at Battle House, which
you will.
Which I signed up for, I guess.
You're clicking that one for
3
sure.
years ago, maybe, when I went with my other job at the time. Use code FUN. That's what it says here on here. But I'm not going to tell you where, because I think there's like FCC stuff there. But anyway, regardless, how many spam texts you get? You don't get any, really?
I don't get many. No, I mean, I get like anything I signed up for, at the kids' school or different things like that. But it's just more; those are informative. Like I trust and know them. I'm not just like getting random businesses.
Does Molly just have a crazy email inbox with all the stuff you got to sign up for with the kids?
Yeah, we have about 14 different email addresses, like for simplification purposes. Yeah. Molly's like, I want this stuff to go here. I want this stuff in here. And I'm like, okay, so now I don't know where anything is. Well, it's like in 45 different mail inboxes.
Well, I remember in the beginning, we send the rundown out the night before or something like that. Yeah. We work on it.
Where's it going?
I would send it to 3 different emails with you off the rip.
A lot of
there was 3 different emails I had for you before I actually even really knew who you were. And I would just send them to all of them. And I think up until like maybe the new year, I feel like for a year I was sending you an email to 3 different emails.
To all of them,
so maybe I just like justified that Molly needs to know what we were talking about every day too.
But I have my computer and I have my Odyssey email and I'm ready to roll.
Now it all works itself out. And sure enough, again, we're not going to talk about these rules. Like that's just how
rules are dumb and we aren't going to follow it.
You are a rule follower.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I like to pose as like a rebel, but I'm I know.
I am too. I'm straight edge. We get it. Corporate Crosby, corporate Tommy. We're all here.
We're here for you.
Your sports bucket list. That's what I want to talk about on the top of the hour here. Things you want to do revolving around sports. You can be the judge on what that means. But sports bucket list, it's a Friday. Get a fun topic out there and just shoot around a little bit. Packers all-time leading scorer, Tommy Wirtz here. It's the Mason Crosby Show, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Yeah, buddy.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
Hour number 2, the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis. Packers all-time leading scorer still here as well. You got a big weekend ahead of you here on a Friday now?
Let's see. What do we got this weekend? Yeah, some softball games coming up. But honestly, pretty low-key, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
This is a little low-key weekend.
That's not a bad thing.
Nothing on my bucket list this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
not on my
like
list.
scared I'm going to say some of mine. You're going to be like, I did that.
Don't be scared. I
done.
probably have. Yeah, let's be real.
Just be like Crosby's like, I don't have a bucket list anymore because I've already experienced everything in sports.
Hey, Tommy,
time.
what you've done, I just call that a list.
Yeah,
That's just a list.
that's called Thursday.
That's called once a year. Tommy.
every Wednesday. That's what Crosby's doing. He's just checking off what my bucket list would be in
Honestly,
sports.
if there's something on your bucket list that I haven't done, I'm gonna go and try to do it right away. just be like, Tommy, I did that yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, relax.
Oh, I love it. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and Crosby setting us up beautifully there. We want to hear sports bucket list. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line of items on your sports bucket list. This can be whatever you want. All right. I don't care if it's going somewhere, seeing something, eating something at a stadium. If you're Mitch Nellis, like these are all
that would be it. Yes.
These are all anything open. It just has to be sports adjacent in some way. But that's what's going to lead us off here at the 1 o'clock hour. It's Fun Friday. We'll do a nice little topic of what you would like to do. I'll kick something off where I know it would be on it's already been accomplished by you, but quite frankly, seeing a Super Bowl in person is probably got to be number 1 on this list. Maybe not quite number 1, but
it's on the list. Are we? Yeah, let's make like a list, but I don't know if they're in priority. Like, I don't know if we need to do priority, right? Like bucket list is just like, all right, you can knock them off whenever,
right? Yeah, maybe there is like some
it's
sort
just
of
a bucket. There's no list.
You just got to knock
just
it.
A bucket.
Just got to knock over the bucket at any point. Yeah. But a Super Bowl, does it matter if the Packers are in it or not? Yeah, I think I would take out a loan to go watch the Packers in the Super Bowl.
I think you would be bummed if you were able to only go to one Super Bowl and like you went and then the Packers went another year and you couldn't go or for some reason and you're like, oh my gosh, like I went to the Super Bowl and I didn't get to see my Packers play.
Is it better to go see a Super Bowl in a specific city in your mind? Yours was in what, New Orleans, right?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. I knew that. I don't know why. New Orleans obviously was 97.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
I knew that. All right. My bad. I was thinking of it, but
it was cool in Dallas because my family, I grew up in Texas and all that. So like, I think that was a pretty special place to play a Super Bowl in for me.
But even if I got the offer to go to the Super Bowl next year, if it was free, like I'm going whenever, right? I mean, but I still think that there's probably a number I would spend if it's the Packers. I don't think I'm pulling out $10,000 to go see him in the Super Bowl, but $3,000.
You're going to be pulling out $10,000 if you want to go see a Super Bowl, I think.
I know, it's so corporate.
Start
now.
Saving up now. Yeah.
It's so Crosby now. That's what they're saying.
Crosby,
it's so Crosby. But that's like, I'm looking at like just a brief little list of like some venues and whatnot that go up there. And number 1 football venue is Lambeau Field on bucket list. And obviously that's something that maybe some of us take for granted in that way.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, that is a huge sports bucket list, is make the trip to Lambeau Field, even if you're not a Packers fan or a fan of the team that's playing, in a sense. If you can go watch a game in Lambeau Field, I can't tell you how many people I ran across that just were there. They just wanted to experience what it was like to watch a game in Lambeau Field. And that, I don't take it for granted now. Maybe I did at times while I was playing, but it's like, what a cool experience that I got to play all those games in a spot where people have on their bucket list for years to try to get there.
Well, and before we head to the talk and text line, we got a bunch coming in here. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line, your sports bucket list of events that you would like to go to. Crosby, I'll ask you first. What's one that's on your list that you think you would like to do someday?
One that I haven't done and that I need to do, and I can't believe I haven't done it yet because of my fandom. I need to go to Anfield. I need to see a game, a Liverpool match at Anfield.
You haven't seen a Liverpool match yet?
I have not gone and watched them at Anfield, no.
Wow. That's surprising to me.
I know, man. There's still things. I still have a bucket. There's a bucket that things have not been taken out of yet.
You've been to England though, right?
I've been to England.
You've played a game there, right?
I've played a game there.
Okay, and
I went to a Chelsea match. I went and watched Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Some Liverpool fan you are.
I know it was bad, but but Christian Pulisic, great American soccer player, scored 2 goals in the game. So that was pretty fun.
All right,
and they booed him both times. The home fans booed him every time he touched the ball because and then they get rid of him. He goes over and plays in Italy and starts dominating. And Chelsea went on a slide for a couple of years. So take that, Chelsea. I couldn't be happier because I'm a red over in England, not a blue.
How expensive are tickets to like a Liverpool match?
I think they're pricey. Yeah. I think they're pricey.
Does it matter? Like,
I don't think it matters. I think they're expensive. I've looked. Nolan and I, when we went over to watch Walsall play, which that would have been on my list. Watch a football match in Wembley. That was pretty awesome. And then we went and watched Fulham play Man City at Craven Cottage, and that was awesome. Really cool stadium. And those were. And Fulham's not like it's not a crazy club. And I think we paid 300-400 pounds a ticket. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well,
expensive.
Can you convert that to dollars, please? I don't want to hear about pounds on this station. Jeez. I'll read a couple here from the 262. The sports bucket list, the Masters. You've gone to Augusta, right?
I've played Augusta, so
okay,
so
Tiger. All right,
that
Tiger.
one doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone and watched the Masters tournament. So going and watching the tournament is definitely on my. In my bucket?
Would that be something where you're like, well, if I'm going to go, I might as well go on Sunday, or you would say going on Thursday is sufficient?
I think going would be fun. Honestly, I don't like the chaos and crazy. I'd rather almost go. I've gone to the Waste Management Open a few times and done like a Wednesday, Thursday. Like practice rounds are actually a lot of fun because you get to experience and see how these guys are kind of warming up. They do some fun things. Like it's almost more interactive that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually like practice rounds. If you go to a golf tournament, make sure you try to go to like a Wednesday practice round because guys, like the players will talk to you. They're hanging out. They're just a little more relaxed. And so it's a fun experience.
Well, a couple other on that list. World Cup game. You ever been to a World Cup game, like in stadium, in person?
I have not been to a World Cup game in stadium, and I plan to this summer.
That'll be awesome, right? Yeah. It's in LA, right? I'll try to go to Atlanta, but I'll probably try to go out to the West Coast and watch the U.S. play at least once. I went to a public viewing of World Cup qualifying when I was in Germany, and that was just completely different than watching it anywhere here. And it was in 2018 when Germany did not make the World Cup. So I saw the sadness of in person, and I mean, you could hear a pin drop with thousands of people watching this game on a giant screen, and just like they couldn't believe that they didn't get to the World Cup. It was Germany, right? I think they won it in 14 also, right? I think they win it and then they didn't make it. So
shocking.
I know footy. I know a little footy here.
You know the footy.
Wimbledon, you ever gone there?
No, we were supposed to go last year, and then we ended up with there was a wedding that was right at the same time. We couldn't make it all happen. We were going to go with Jordy and the Cobbs, Jordy, Nelson, Emily, and Randall and Ida. And we literally saw them on TV. Like they were literally perched behind watching, I think the quarterfinals or something. And Molly and I are just like, we love her. You know, we are so happy we went to the wedding. It was definitely worth it, but it was like, oh my gosh, like we need to go to Wimbledon because Molly, that's more Molly's bucket list, I think, than mine.
Okay.
Like, I think it'd be fun, but it's not something that if I don't go, it's not going to, like, I don't feel like I'm missing something, but I want to take Molly to fulfill that on her list.
Well, let's head to the phone line. We got Ram on the north side of Milwaukee on the Nicolay Law talking text line. Ram, sports bucket list. What do you got for us?
What's going on, Mason?
What's up, Ram? All right, what you got?
Hey, Tommy, I got a new name for Mason. MC3.
What's a three?
Is it for the field goal?
For the kicks. All right, I'll take it.
MC3. You saw
I'll
the
take it.
CEE. You saw the CEE. That's a T-shirt.
Yep, it's actually.
I'm throwing that one out there. That's not a job. That's something that you can just take.
Corporate company Crosby. Is that what the 3 C's are for?
Yeah, the 3 C's of Crosby.
You know, that's coming from the hood. You know, we kind of dress it up a little bit.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little love from the hood. But I say for me, right now, the one I love to go to the Chase Center and see Steph in the pregame and go in the locker room.
Oh,
okay.
Hope they play there. Now, so far, what I've seen the Brewers, 1982.
Nice.
I went to the World Series game.
There you go.
And I actually, in 1977, I was at the Bucks All-Star game here. My dad had got tickets for me and my mom, my brother. I was actually sitting like 9 rows behind the Bucks. And which is unusual about that game, you know, Julius Erving got MVP for the losing team because the Bucks was in the West End.
Oh, really?
And then 1996, I went up to Brown Deer and I saw Tiger Woods.
Nice.
Oh,
that was awesome.
That was his first.
That
was his first one.
Oh, he's really good. So nobody else was trying to go, you know, because at that time people was like, oh man, I ain't going. I went. I didn't know what I was doing. I never walked the greens and all that, and I went. And I could say that I saw him play in his first match, and you know that was good. And I've been to a Packer game. I saw Brett Favre. It was a preseason game.
Yeah. What's one you still want to do, Ram? You got one you still like to do other than Steph? That's the one that you want?
Football wise, I like to go to a Packer game and they down in Soldier Field. I would like to do that.
Wow.
I like that because you know that's that border thing. I would like to go to a game. Even though if it's cold, I would like to go to one of those.
Okay. All right, Ram. Thanks for the call, boss.
Appreciate you, Ram.
There he is, Ram on the north side of Milwaukee. You know what? If you want to call in and brag, you can do that too. I like that. I like that, actually. Yes. Come in, tell us what you've done.
I'm reserving all my bragging.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Crosby's actually seen a football game on the moon, guys. In case you were
wondering. Have you ever played a game in another country, Jack?
Yes, done that. Mason Crosby golfing with the president, whatever president of whatever you got. I mean, he's done.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Not yet. Carrie from Tosa texting in the completed spring training this year off of her bucket list. I've ran into Carrie actually at Rally House when I was there a couple of days ago. College Baseball World Series in Nebraska next. That does look awesome.
That would be fun.
Like Omaha looks like an awesome time. It is jumping there. It's like, I mean, it's a college baseball game. So 13,000 is a lot, but it's actually still such a personable feel for a baseball game. I mean, there were 43,000 at American Family Field yesterday.
Yeah.
And to have, you know, that number where you're so much closer to the action.
That's cool.
And it's all college kids that are all ready to party too on top of it. I would have absolutely love to get to Omaha as well. From the 920 bucket list, the Party Animals versus the Coconuts lottery went on sale today and was lucky enough to be able to buy a ticket to attend the Banana Ball game on June 6th this year at American Family Field. That comes from Ryan in Tosa. Banana Ball.
That'll be fun.
That one is it's a weird one to me because you can't deny that it is a desirable, right? I mean, the wait list for that thing is
so much fun,
crazy. And I know a few years ago they came to where the Milkmen play in Milwaukee. They were just at I can't think of the name of the park, but way smaller park.
Yeah, they do
venue.
some small venues, which is fun.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if like it feels like, is it baseball? Is it a show?
It's a show because I think they get fans involved and like, you know, you have chances to win prizes and money or different things. So I think that's why it's so entertaining.
They were in Nashville, right, at the Titan Stadium this past year, and they sold that whole football stadium out. I mean, you can't deny when there's 80,000 people coming to watch it how desirable it is. Mary on YouTube commenting in. She wants to see a NASCAR race and a Packer game in another stadium on top of that. I have seen them play in Minnesota, US Bank. And then Christian Watson dropped it right in front of me. I never want to go to another game.
I think my dad was at that game.
Oh, dude. That was
sitting by each other.
Brutal. That one, I was in the last row of the stadium.
I don't know. Our away tickets are pretty high up there, so you literally might have been right next to them.
You remember, wasn't it when Jordan Love's family in the Chiefs game, right? We're sitting up over there all by themselves.
Man, I didn't take literally. It took me being a Super Bowl champ before I could even ask to get any better seats for my family on away games, or I'd look on Ticketmaster and try to just buy them separate because it just. The away tickets put you right up in the nosebleeds, right in the corner, which I guess I get it, but it's, there are options to buy other ones. If you want to ask, my parents are the ones you would want to ask, which away stadium to go to. Because I think they went to every one that I played in except for Philadelphia. They never went and watched us play in Philly.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I actually might ask them. That's an interesting question to me.
They would know which one you should check out. That was enjoyable.
Another one popping up: Real Madrid game, Manchester United Premier League, Waste Management on here as well that you brought up already, Crosby. That you've done a Brewers World Series game party with Crosby and Kuhn for the Super Bowl as well, being a list on there. I have another one that I have.
I like this one, the 262, also the F1 race. That actually is something that I haven't thought about being on my list, but I think that would be really fun. I've done NASCAR and I've done some other things, but F1, it fits me. It feels more, it feels more bougie, elitist, right? It's I said it so you didn't have to say it.
It's a little more scientific almost too than NASCAR is. Maybe them slighting NASCAR by saying that.
I mean, but it's definitely. I mean, have you seen that F1 movie?
I haven't seen the movie or the Drive to Survive show, but that's really how Netflix got a lot of the how F1 gained a lot of fans was from that Netflix docuseries. Yeah,
and it's so detailed. I mean, they're talking and they have to stay within regulations, but they're talking just the wind tunnel and how they build it and they put little fins on. It's just trying to get a little more power, a little more speed every time you get on. But then it's dangerous, right? The more you take something and do something, the science behind it is fascinating. It is pretty cool.
I have one that goes a little bit off, but I could just imagine how amazing it would be to be and if I'm going to do this, I would like to do this the right way. I want to be Matt's side of a sumo match in Japan. I want to be right there. I want cigarettes going off and money being thrown on the table.
That'd be cool.
Just that atmosphere that you would see of these two massive humans just slamming into each other. That's what, or even a UFC event at that level or something along those lines, a combat sport, being right ringside for a big boxing match. The ticket prices are just always ridiculous. I don't know if I'll ever get to do it, but a little bit off the path of, I don't care what I would see or who is performing in those moments. That's when I want to get to.
I like that. Something that I haven't done that I would enjoy doing is going to an Olympics. I'd like to go and enjoy and watch one of the Olympics. Go to where's the Summer Olympics next? Is it in America? I think it's America, right? Yeah. So I think I might try to catch a Summer Olympics.
Yeah, 2028. Right? Yeah. They're in Los Angeles or something like that too.
I'm gonna have to try to pop that and do that because I obviously love watching it on TV, but it'd be so cool to go and you'll see some of that live.
I think we 1 sec. I got him back here now. Tom is in Oconomowoc. I'm going to get him back on hold. I lost him for a second. Tom in Oconomowoc on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line with some bucket list item. What do you got for us, Tom?
Well, things I've done 43 consecutive Indy 500s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
I've done 8 Daytona 500s. I've done a Super Bowl. I've done 3 NFC championship games, World Series, the Olympics.
When you went to the Olympics, Tom, did you what's the itinerary like? Do you just pick hey, we're at this venue and whatever's happening is happening, or you're I want to go watch? Was it summer or winter?
It was summer, 84. I was I bought a package that a car dealer earned, and it was the lodging and everything. They had tickets, they had transportation, meals, everything was included. It was a pretty
Very
sweet
nice.
deal. I just stumbled onto. So we saw 2 events a day for like 3 days.
Wow.
We saw the women's volleyball, U.S. women's. Otherwise, it was pretty much foreign teams events, things like that. So that was pretty neat.
That's cool. Yeah.
And you got
Lucky to
any
see
more
that.
you want to get to there?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do?
Yeah.
I mean, that list sounds pretty impressive.
Like everybody else, guys, the Masters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I've done all the tournaments here in Wisconsin, and the Masters would be the crown to that one, the jewel, anyways. So I'd like to see the Packers in the Super Bowl. The other one would be a Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, that's a good one, Tom.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun, too.
I'm thinking the same thing. I don't know, Tom. Thanks for the call, man.
Appreciate
You're
it,
welcome.
Tom.
There he is. That's one that playoff hockey, right? I just think that I know how popular that is as well, and I feel like I get robbed of that moment all the time because there's no team here that I don't have a playoff hockey team that I get behind. But you cannot deny that hockey fans, playoff hockey, different atmosphere.
Oh gosh, yeah. Watching that stuff on TV, I mean, it is electric. I mean, the boards, you just see everybody on the glass like going nuts,
Smacking it.
Yeah, and like the energy on the ice, you can just feel it as well. Like it's just a whole different animal. Like seeing those things live do add like just a significance to them. So I like that. I like that as well. I don't know, like live sporting events. Something that I really enjoy going. I love going to concerts. So I'm trying to think if there's somebody in concert that like I would love to see. And I'm racking my brain. I'm like, okay, who is it that I would want to see? I think Ed Sheeran would be an awesome concert.
Okay, you're just thinking out loud right now.
I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, kind of like.
Do you like that one? Do you like that one?
Good.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you did that. My brother and I literally had a conversation this morning only with song titles.
Oh, that's
from
perfect.
From Dermot Kennedy, and we were just like. We were like trash talking with song titles of like that. Yeah. It went on for about 15 minutes and we both just were like, all right, I think we hit all the songs. I don't know what happened.
Reese calls you corporate because he's so free spirit too.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be real. Like everyone's corporate to Reese Crosby.
Yep.
That's
It is. Yeah.
Continue to call in or text in. We'll take that for however long we want to on sports bucket list items that either you have done or wanted to do. 414-677-1250. Maybe we revisit it. But I also want to talk a little bit about tanking with Crosby as someone who will not accept a single loss from the Green Bay Packers without Micah Parsons. I can imagine that the NBA is really ticking off Mason Crosby along the way right now. But sports bucket list items, feel free throughout the rest of the show. 414-677-1250. Let us know what you've done, what you want to do, because it's Friday and we're just trying to have a little fun here. Let's talk tanking on the other side. The Mason Crosby Show from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back. The Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, Packers all-time leading scorer. Mason Crosby here. Fun topic, sports bucket list there. Everyone got in. Talk about what they'd like to do. Maybe I'll see if Sparky and Charlie pop by at the end or something and see if they have one, or bring it up again, because I'm sure Sparky has a bunch with what he's done and wants to do. And I know Charlie's just a man with a dream, as you heard yesterday from him. But I wanted to get over to this topic on tanking in the NBA. And the NBA, this comes from Shams, so take it for what it's worth, because I'm not talking about his report of a divorce seems more evident this summer with the Bucks and Giannis. I'm just not doing it. We've done it 72 times on this show. But now he has a different report out there. The NBA presented 3 comprehensive anti-tanking concepts to its board of governors on Wednesday, with modifications expected to each before a formal vote in May. Number 1, this is the first of them. 18 teams in the draft lottery, seeds 7 through 15 in each conference. Okay, so you could make the play-in and then still be entered into the lottery based on this, right? Because it's 6 teams are in the playoffs, and then the play-in from there go from there. So you can actually make the playoffs after winning the play-in, then being in the playoffs. Is that a real thing? Like, you could be the 8th seed and still be in the lottery? You can win the championship and still be in the lottery at this rate now? Yeah. With flattened odds, with the bottom 10 teams having an 8% chance. So everyone would have the exact same chance as long as you're in the bottom 10 of the league. The remaining 20% odds get distributed in decreasing order from 11 through 18, and a lottery drawing for all 18 picks. That's the first one, okay? The
NBA stuff is so complicated. They just make everything so convoluted. I mean, their trade packages, everything is so complicated.
Number 2, 22 teams in the lottery using a 2-year record.
Holy cow.
Seeds 7 through 15 plus the 4 playoff first round exits in both conference. Lottery teams would reach a minimum win total floor in each season, such as 25 wins. If a team falls short of that floor, it gets slotted to meet that floor. I don't know what that sentence means. The top 4 drawn as part of the lottery, as is currently.
25 is the threshold, so
like you're not getting any better odds as long as you win less than 25 games. Is that what that means?
It's like if you win less than 25, like your odds are set. Like you're right here.
The third option.
I hate all this. I hate every part of this.
18 teams in a quote 5x5 lottery. Bottom 5 teams have equal odds for the top pick, with the lottery formed picks for picks 1 through 5. The bottom 5 teams have a floor at 10, and those that fall out of the top 5 get sorted into a separate drawing. That's the dumbest one right there. Like, you're going to have odds for a top part lottery pick, but if you don't get picked, then you just get screwed after that. Is that what that means?
So do you do you like the lottery? Do you like that? I mean, it's necessary probably in basketball.
I will,
because like you can't, like some teams are just going to be stacked. And
the lottery is stupid because they don't show it on TV.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Insane. Like the fact that they're like, oh, this is what happened in a room like over
Dallas Mavericks get the first pick.
Oh, they just traded Luka and somehow this lottery ball fell. Or, Derrick Rose.
Didn't they have a 5% chance or something?
Derrick Rose, I'm pretty sure that they had the worst odds to get him. Like they had 1 ping pong ball in, but the guy from Chicago is going to the Bulls. That's crazy how it worked out just so perfectly. So the lottery is stupid. It's a good idea. It's terribly executed by the NBA. And the fact is, even if you want to rig it with magnets, show me that, as opposed to, you got to trust us. This is how it all fell out in the back over there.
Here's my thing.
And now we're going to read it.
I guess I don't mind if they're not going to change the lottery system and all that. I don't mind doing it on a multi-year basis. So it's like, if you're a bad team, you're a bad team. And like, sure, you should have a chance, just like in the NFL, like in other drafts, to get a player that can help you be successful the next year. But if you have a track record now, and then your second season, you're just still bad and now you're just a bad team. And I feel like it's like, okay, like you shouldn't have the same odd. Like, let's get some other players going other places and have them have a chance, because we're giving you good players and you still stink, or you're still choosing to tank, or whatever that looks like.
In theory, is a lottery supposed to already help anti-tanking more than a fixed?
That's what I'm like.
This schedule is our, in the NFL,
shouldn't just the lottery in itself, yes, be anti-tanking, because you still aren't guaranteed if you're last place to have that first pick like the NFL. The NFL has way more incentive to tank than the NBA does, right?
And I feel like,
in my opinion,
do we ever bring up conversations of tanking with the NFL? Like, definitely not as much as we do with the NBA.
Not as much. Well, and for sure, wasn't the Giants? Didn't they won their last 2 games and lost out on the first overall pick?
And thinking of what was it, Carolina and Houston?
Yeah,
when Lovie Smith won that last game,
exactly.
And then I think both teams are happy with who they got, but
sure.
Bryce Young ends up being a Panther because of that, and CJ Stroud ends up being a Texan because of that situation.
Man, like that reminds me of something I was reading in the break. Just kind of going off track on draft stuff. I saw somebody posted something, Oakland Raiders, or when they were the Oakland Raiders, some draft picks that who they picked and who the next pick was, or who they traded. Literally, they picked somebody right before Aaron Rodgers. They picked someone right before Calvin Johnson. I think they picked Jamarcus Russell before Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Like,
I still believe in Darius Hayward-Bay, man. I still believe in that guy.
Yeah,
I think he
Robert
can do
Gallery is who they picked before Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then they traded their picked, and New England picked up Gronkowski with the pick that they traded.
What year was Larry Fitz? 04, 05, right? Larry Fitzgerald draft.
It was 05, I think.
He was the 04 draft. He was the
04. Okay, it was that many.
And Calvin Johnson, I'm pretty sure, was 07. Could you imagine if the Raiders had Larry Fitzgerald and Calvin Johnson
and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
and they had Aaron throwing to him. I mean, what the heck?
That would have been unreal.
I don't know. If they had Larry and Calvin, Jamarcus Russell might have been okay. Who knows?
Well, they would have had to have taken Calvin instead of Jamarcus.
Okay, never mind.
But still, I mean, once you see a guy throw a football 70 yards on his knees, that definitely translates to the NFL.
That's the most Raiders pick ever.
That's so outdated.
This guy, oh my god!
You see what he could do in shorts on his knees, man? That guy.
We must have this guy.
He's a cat. That guy's a cat right there. He used to be. My sidebar. That used to be. I remember playing for the worst football program maybe in the entire state over at Cudahy. I was terrible. I won 9 games in 8 years playing in that system, and just remember we had a play drawn up where there's a free edge. And I was like, "Oh, who's blocking this guy? Who blocks this guy in this play?"
No.
And the coach being like, "That guy makes a play. He's a cat."
Just let him go.
Yeah. No one blocking him. 100% was whether he was. I don't think he was even a read. It was just that guy. If he makes the play,
not even
he's
someone
a cat.
Scraping across. Just let him go.
Newsflash: that guy was making the play.
He was making every play.
He was making every play. It was unreal. But
that's great.
I still think that going back to tanking with the NBA, a solution that was brought up from the show before us was not guaranteeing contracts. And I don't think that makes much sense to me personally, because then I think we're going to get back into poor owners versus rich owners in that sport on who's going to give out more money. And I know the NFL does that where they don't give out all guaranteed deals. But again, it's a lot harder to tank in the sport like football and baseball for that matter, because you can't not try hard in football because you will get hurt.
You'll get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's team. And if you pull out some guy, you're going to have guys that are still good athletes and good players. You're just going to have them, they're just going to be playing. They're going to be playing really hard because they want a job, right? It is a different animal for sure.
Would this tanking situation be as bad in the NBA if it wasn't lottery driven and it was just fixed schedule or fixed record is now the way that they're going to do this draft order? Or would it be going in a worse direction? Because baseball actually did shift to a lottery system a couple of years ago now for their draft. And on top of it, I believe you can't have if you win the lottery, you can't win it again the year after.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there is you can't be in the top 5 3 years in a row, something like that. So you could do it 1 year, you could have it the 26 and the 27 lottery. You could be a top 5 pick, but then you immediately will not get better than 6th in 2028. And it's something they do along those lines.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think also, I think you have to incentivize playing hard and trying to get into a play, the play-in games or getting into the playoffs or something like that. At least it gets convoluted, but let's say if you're not top 10 in your conference, once in 4 years, then you drop out of the, then you don't get a top 10 pick or something like that. You don't even get in the lottery for it. So it's you can't, I think a systematic tanking situation is probably the biggest thing to avoid, because you're just then not building a roster. You're just not trying to build a team. You're trying to spend a little bit of the least amount of money as possible. You're not, developing or building or bringing in good players, because there's no way I can't imagine a team. Well, I can, I guess. The Cleveland Browns do it all the time. They don't win.
Raiders,
the Lions were bad for a long time.
Raiders still doing it actually at this moment.
So sometimes organizations just are bad.
And the Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010 or whatever it is either.
Sometimes though I get I'm just also the worst team should probably get the best player coming up. It should be that way, but the NBA they don't pull their money like the NFL. The NFL system is incentivized where it's you want to get those players and you want to do well, and it almost doesn't really matter because they all get the same amount of money shared out every year. So even though there's some issues with that system, it is at least collective and a shared pool of revenue that whether you draft first for 5 years in a row, or you're winning, if you win the Super Bowl, you almost don't care because you're just okay, we're all making a ton of money. We're all doing fine. So I think the NBA system, unless they go to a collectively pooled money, revenue share, there's always going to be some sort of issue. And there's always going to be a team that says I just don't want to spend. I don't really care. We'll be bottom of the thing. We're still making good money as a business, but why would I spend on players?
Looking right now just at the NBA draft lottery, the worst record right now, Indiana Pacers 16-57, Brooklyn and Washington each have 17 wins, Sacramento 19 wins, Utah 21. The Bucks right now at 9. You can sim the lottery. Let's just see where the Bucks would be if we sim the lottery. They got the 9th pick. Okay. I was just trying to see if we could get anything interesting to go on there.
Nice.
However, that Pelicans pick fell down to the 8th spot. So the Bucks only lose 1 pick in this, 8-9. So interestingly enough, congrats to the Memphis Grizzlies, by the way, for winning this fake draft lottery that we just ran right here.
Perfect.
We'll see what happens. College basketball today. You got an eye on anything? Speaking of the draft lottery, it's final rounds of the Sweet 16.
Let me see. What we got? Duke St. John's, is that going on?
Yeah,
today?
that's a matchup they got today.
That's one I'm watching. Gosh, I thought Texas was going to pull it off. I was going to rub that in your face so hard.
Alabama, Michigan, Michigan State, UConn should be a great matchup today, and Tennessee, Iowa State. We had a texter call from the Nicolay Law talking text line. Speaking on the coach, TJ Oxelberger of Iowa State, Wisconsin guy, born in Milwaukee. I'm cheering for them today. That comes from Steve in Richfield.
Nice.
Plus, they got a couple Pewaukee guys, I think, on the team there, too. So Iowa State, maybe if you need a rooting interest, then you're want some Wisconsin ties with it.
I'm watching that one because obviously the Tennessee game and then, the Tennessee playing. And I think Iowa State's a really good team. So I'm curious to see, if Tennessee is kind of legit right now, right? How they've been playing. They've kind of played a little bit better in this tournament than they did throughout the course of the season, just kind of like Texas did. Are they going to be able to overcome this one or are they going to fall short and a good Iowa State team is going to win? So I'm intrigued at that one. I think the UConn Michigan State game is going to be a great game. That's the closest betting odds. That's kind of like a pick 'em game. And then I don't want Duke to lose because I have them winning the whole thing, but actually, I don't want St. John. I don't like Calipari. There's something about I don't know.
Or Patino, you mean?
Or Patino. Sorry,
yeah,
Patino.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
he's going to wear
the
freshest all white suit tonight.
The suit,
man.
Do you think he's going all white?
It's going to be Italian made. Like he is ready to go for sure. And by the way,
he definitely I mean, he gets all he gets all dressed up for the event.
Congrats to the Arizona Wildcats for being the national champions after that game yesterday.
Yeah.
That they're never going to lose again if that's what's going to be. They just couldn't miss. They couldn't miss the entire day. It was ridiculous. But they dominated Arkansas. Arkansas put up 88 and they still lost by 21 points. Yeah. That was impressive for sure.
SEC, the biggest fraud conference.
The Big Ten, like if Arizona don't win it all, the Big Ten is going to win it all, and they might have taken over college sports. They might have. They might have. Just putting it out there for you. All right, we gotta wrap up the show. On the other side, ready for your extra points on the weekend?
I'm going to give you your rules conversation. I think we're going to talk about a couple rules. I got a funny question to ask you. What your thoughts are?
It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are live for the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Mason Crosby Show all week. It was a fun week, a little disjointed week. We had some interesting things going with delayed starts and the opening day and all that mumbo jumbo. But I do want to ask you the question. You didn't get to it. Tell me, what rule change from the NFL is the most interesting or intriguing or ridiculous in your opinion?
Oh, well, a lot of them are revolving around the kicking game, and especially the kickoff.
I saw the one like from like a penalty, like not kicking the ball out of bounds from the 50-yard line.
Right. Remember, if there was like a penalty on PATs, then you could enforce it from the spot of where you would kick, but then you would kick the ball out of bounds, and then it would end up back at the 25-yard line.
That'd actually be more beneficial than kicking it into the end zone or in play.
The other one is you are now considering declaring whenever you would want to kick a onside kick, as opposed to it has to be in the fourth quarter.
Which, like that's stupid too, though. I mean, so just let them do surprise onsides. Like, were there injuries from that? Like, I mean, if someone wants to surprise onside, let them surprise onside.
Well, you can't do a surprise onside.
Oh,
right.
that's right. Now they did all this stuff.
You got to declare. So now
I hate football now. I hate it. It's not even football.
Modify the kicking alignment requirements for receiving team in the setup zone. So I assume they'll just let you put different players wherever they're. And for 1 year only, allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses by on-field officials that impact the game in the event of work stoppages involving the game officials represented by the NFL Referees Association.
Wow, they're setting up stuff in case those refs aren't, they don't come to an agreement. Oh, that's crazy. So they'll be calling things from New York.
They'd be like, New York? Absolutely not. No,
we're not trusting. We're not trusting anything. That thing missed by a mile, or this was something.
That's like the only one that doesn't revolve around kicking for the most part.
I'm worried the kicking position's the only position. Like we said, they're going to make a poll. They're going to make the kicking position obsolete so that they're the only position ever from like a starting position, important spot that's going to get a pay decrease.
We'll see. It all comes up, I think, at the owners' meeting or the coaches' meeting, whatever they do. I don't know where it is.
I'm glad they get to make all the decisions on these rules. It's awesome.
New York could call. They could just call and say, no, absolutely not. That's not going to happen.
For sure.
So we'll see what happens. Have a good weekend, Kicker.
All right. Weekend time. Let's get it. Enjoy it.
I'm ready for it. Can't wait for it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Mason Crosby Show all week. From the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Later.
I was